Hi, in this video we're going to highlight some of the things we really like about the Dyson V11. Now first let's talk a little bit about models. Presently in the US there are two models available. You can get the Dyson V11 Torque Drive or the Dyson V11 Animal. Now we've laid out what you get here with the Dyson V11 Torque Drive, and let's walk through that quickly. You get the handheld unit, and on the back of the handheld unit is an LCD control panel. You get the wand. This is a wall mount. You can see that you can put a couple of tools on it there. This is what they call a mini soft dusting brush. You got a crevice tool, a stubborn dirt brush. It's got really kind of tough bristles on it. Combo tool. This is a mini motorized tool. Got a little motor in it, and you can see a brush roll with bristles. This is what they're calling the wand storage clip. It's interesting. You can put a tool on this side and a tool on this side, and it actually clips onto the wand. That's new. We haven't seen that kind of thing with any of the other Dyson stick vacs. A charger, and this is the high torque cleaner head. It's got a couple of rows of bristles. One soft and fine. This is the red ones here, a little bit stiffer. Got a couple openings in the front as well, and these are managed by this 3-setting slider. And you get a little bit of literature, something that helps you with mounting the wall mount. You've got a manual, and you've also got a warranty card. Now, that's what you get with the Dyson V11 Torque Drive. Now, if we're talking about the Dyson V11 Animal, well, you don't get this mini soft dusting brush, and the control panel on the back of your handheld is LED. It's not LCD. And there are some other differences, and we'll walk through the differences in that control panel a little later on. Now, there is another model we're seeing outside of the United States, and it's called the Dyson V11 Absolute. And what do you get when you buy a V11 Absolute? Well, you get the mini soft dusting brush. You get the LCD control panel. So in other words, it is the same unit really as the Dyson V11 Torque Drive, but they've thrown in a soft roller cleaner head. So that makes up the Dyson V11 Absolute. We like the LCD control panel you get with the V11 Torque Drive, and that's the control panel here. Now, it's not really a critical feature, but it's kind of a nice to have. And it does a number of things, and we're going to show you a couple of the ones we like. Now, the first thing is you get to see what power mode you're in and the remaining runtime. Okay, so this is telling us, this is blue, it's in the middle kind of bar or battery there is telling us it's medium or auto power mode, and there's 32 minutes and 11 seconds runtime left. Kind of nice. Now you can also walk your way through the different power modes with the button on the bottom. And each power mode also tells you the remaining runtime. Pretty handy. Now, one other interesting feature is that the machine actually shows you video clips about how to resolve potential issues, like a filter that may not be seated properly, or even a blockage in the airflow. Now we're going to show you the filter issue, because I can just unclick the filter there. You can see it's saying the filter isn't sealed, and it shows you this short little video clip about how to resolve the problem. Kind of handy. Get rid of that by putting the filter back in. There we are. Now I'm going to try to block the airflow, see if I can get that particular video clip to play. There we are. This one's a little longer. It's kind of walking you through different areas of the vacuum, things you should do. I think that's supposed to be a pair of glasses telling you to look in and make sure there's no obstruction. I think at the beginning it was saying make sure you empty the dust canister. You know, you're checking the wand, check the all the different openings in the cleaner head, that kind of thing. So kind of handy. This tends to repeat itself a number of times. I think if I turn the vacuum back on, it may go away. There we are. So those are a couple of great features of this new LCD control panel. Remember that the LCD control panel does not come with the V11 Animal. You'll find it on the Torque Drive and the Absolute. The Animal comes with an LED control panel. Now, the LED control panel is also sitting on the back of the handheld component. It's a little different. We don't have one to show you, but it basically has 3 bars for battery power, so you know if it's fully charged, 2/3 charged, or 1/3 charged. You've got 2 trouble lights, one to tell you if there's a clog and another to tell you if there's a filter issue. And of course you've got your 3 power modes and the same button as you do here for switching between the power modes. You're not going to get things like the remaining runtime in each power mode, and you're not going to see nice video clips about how to resolve issues and things like that. We like that the V11 maneuvers well. Now it's got this joint here that allows that cleaner head to turn very easily. And just with a twist of your wrist, you can steer the vacuum cleaner. And I'll show you that now. You can see, it's just very easy. You just turn your wrist and steer the vacuum cleaner. Well, that's quite good. Now, frankly, all Dyson stick vacuums are very maneuverable, so the V11 is no exception in the particular case, but it does maneuver well. In addition, of course, this is a cordless machine, so you're not tethered by a cord or anything, so that also helps to some extent with maneuverability. We like that everything on the Dyson clicks together. It provides a very secure fit, and that's here at the end of the handheld component and also down here at the end of the wand. I'll show you what we mean. If we take the wand off, for example, and let's say we want to use a tool. Well, we've got a crevice tool here. You'll notice that it clicks into place. That won't come off. There's no way for that to come off unless you depress this red button. It slips right off. So that's a nice feature. You won't find your tools falling off on you. Now, another example is this is the Shark Ion Flex. Now they use something called compression fit. Now we're going to take the handheld component off of this unit and do the same kind of thing. We've got a combo dusting brush crevice tool. Now in this case you have to push this on in order for it to stay. Now it works just fine, but with this compression fit, sometimes you've pushed it on so hard that it's very hard to take off. Other times you're kind of worried that's going to happen, so you don't put it on hard enough and it falls off when you're vacuuming. At any rate, the click fit used by Dyson is nicer. We like the auto power mode feature. It's hardly critical, it's kind of a nice to have, but what it does is it will adjust the vacuum power depending on the surface you're working on. So typically you've got more power on carpet and a little less power on something like bare floors. Now, how does it do that? Well, the vacuum has 3 sensors. There's one in the high torque cleaner head, one in the digital motor, and one in the battery. Now, the one in the high torque cleaner head is constantly monitoring brush roll resistance. When there's more resistance, it increases the power. When there's less resistance, it lowers the power. So, one thing to be aware of is you're only going to see auto power mode in your LCD control panel when you've got the high torque cleaner head, because that's the only tool or attachment that has the sensor in it. You put in something like this mini motorized tool or any non-motorized tool, you will automatically see medium show up here in the LCD control panel. Now we're going to cut a quick clip in where we go between carpet and bare floors with the high torque cleaner head on, and you will be able to hear the difference in the motor speed. We're on carpet right now. You can see we're at 15 minutes and 40 some odd seconds. Let's move over to the bare floor. Yeah. Now we're up at 31 minutes and 10 seconds. You could hear that motor also dip down. Now it should work as I go backwards as well. There we are, back up. Okay, so that's the auto power mode. We were pretty impressed with the runtimes for the V11. They are longer than the runtimes we see with a lot of other cordless vacuums out there. Now, we've got a table here. We've got official runtimes and tested runtimes, and we've got the 3 power modes. We'll talk about that in a second. One of the first things I guess I want to say is your runtimes really are a function of a number of things. Now, obviously, it depends on which power mode you're in. It also depends on which attachment you're using. You can see we've got the high torque cleaner head on there. That's a motorized tool. They tend to give you a little less runtime, usually at least. And this is a non-motorized tool. This is a crevice tool. These guys tend to give you longer run times. And of course, it's also a function of the floor type, whether it's typically bare floors or carpet. Now, we got these official numbers. We got them directly from Dyson. Now, they haven't told us anything about the floor type or the attachments used, so they're really very much estimates. But let's just walk through them. Official runtime in eco mode, 60 minutes, full hour. Official runtime in auto or medium mode, 40 minutes. Official runtime in boost mode, 6 minutes. Okay. Now, we decided to test all that. So we used a piece of medium pile carpet. We used the high torque cleaner head, made sure we had a fully charged battery, depressed that trigger, used a stopwatch, and recorded runtime. So tested runtime in eco mode, 55 minutes and 14 seconds. Well, it's short of the official, but again, we don't know what they used for this, and we do know what we used. Still, 55 minutes and 14 seconds, pretty good runtime. Tested in auto medium mode. Now we were obviously in auto mode because we had the high torque cleaner head on there. We got 44 minutes and 17 seconds, pretty good runtime. Now tested in boost mode, we got 12 minutes and 52 seconds, almost double what we were told was the official runtime. This I kind of question. I've seen a lot of stuff online, people saying they're typically getting 10 or 12 minutes. Well, yeah, we got 12 minutes 52 seconds, so very good runtime in boost mode. It's nice that the V11 comes with a host of tools. Now what we've got laid out here are what comes with the V11 Torque Drive. And as mentioned earlier, if you had the V11 Animal, well, you wouldn't get the mini soft dusting brush, so you'd get this. But as a point of comparison, if you got a V8 Absolute, you'd get these 4 tools. You wouldn't get these. And that's the same with the V10 Absolute. You'd get these 4 and you wouldn't get these. We also like this mini soft dusting brush for doing stairs. If that larger cleaner head is hard to fit on the stairs or if it's too bulky, this does a really good job. And we've got the wand storage clip, something we haven't seen on any other cordless vacuum from Dyson. Now, this thing, we'll just show you how it works. Pretty straightforward. Put in a crevice tool and a combo tool. This guy clips right on the wand. And you can go ahead and vacuum, and now you're carrying around a couple of tools for easy access. And this guy comes off. And Dyson have been smart enough to put rubber strips along here and on the inside so you're not scratching up your wand. So all in all, they've got a good group of tools, and nice to see they've included so much. We like that the vacuum has a high level of air filtration. Now, Dyson tell us it's got a HEPA filter and a sealed system. Now, let's start with that HEPA filter. That's a very fine filter that removes things like dust mites, mold spores, pollen, pet dander, all that kind of stuff. And it's very good in households, for example, with somebody who has asthma or allergies. Now, a HEPA filter on its own is great, but it's really much more beneficial if you've got a sealed system. And what that really means is the air going into the vacuum is forced to go through that HEPA filter before it's exhausted, so all of your air gets properly filtered. If you don't have a sealed system, air can leak out in cracks or poor seals, and it doesn't necessarily go through that filter. So this guy's got the HEPA filter and the sealed system, and you should be getting high quality filtered air. It's always handy to have a decent sized dust canister. If the canister is too small, you have to empty it frequently, and it kind of interrupts your cleaning sessions. Now, we've laid out all of the different Dyson stick vacs here, and we're going to talk about dust canister size. Over here we've got the V6, it's 0.11 gallons, V7 0.14 gallons, V8 0.14 gallons. This guy is the V10 motor head. It too is 0.14 gallons. Now, this one that doesn't quite balance on the battery, this is your V10 Absolute and your V10 Animal. These guys, they bumped it up to 0.20 gallons. And here is your V11, again at 0.20 gallons. So it does have a decent sized dust canister. The V11 is pretty easy to empty. We actually find it easier to empty than our V10. Now, the mechanisms look identical, and I think they are. It could be that our V10 was just a little bit sticky. Well, this one isn't. This is the V11, opens very easily, just like that. Close it up, and that's it. We tested the noise level of the V11 using this digital noise level meter. Now, we placed this 3 feet in front of the torque drive cleaner head on this carpet, turned the machine on and measured peak decibels. We've got the results in a table. So we've got the table here of V11 power mode and noise level. These are sound tests. You can see we've got the Eco, Auto, and Boost mode, the 3 power modes of the V11. The noise level is peak decibels, and that was taken over a 10-second period. Now in Eco mode, we've got 63.7 decibels, Auto mode 68.4 decibels, and in Boost mode 71.0 decibels. We find that the V11 is pretty much on par in terms of noise with the V10. It could be just a little bit quieter. The loudest Dyson stickbacks we tested were the V6 and the V7, and actually the quietest was the V8. Now let's talk a little bit about suction. We've got the official numbers here from Dyson in each of the 3 power modes. You can see in the Eco power mode, 26 air watts of suction, medium power mode, 38.6 air watts of suction, and boost power mode, 185 air watts of suction. Actually, if you compare this to the V10 in the 3 power modes, the V11 is more powerful in each mode. Now, focusing on boost mode here, we can see we've got 185 air watts of suction. Now that is 85% more power than the V6 and V7 in its highest power mode. It's 61% more powerful than the V8 in its highest power mode, and it's even 23% more powerful than the V10 in its highest power mode. We like the V11's performance on carpet. Now, we've got a few examples to show you. We'll run the machine in the 3 power modes. In Eco mode, we'll have a lighter debris, and we'll have heavier debris in Auto and Boost mode. Now, in each case, we're going to be using the high torque cleaner head with the suction slider set in the middle. In this test, we'll be running the V11 on Eco mode. Now, we've put down some debris here. We've got light chili flakes, flax seeds, heavier green peas, full-size Fruit Loops, we've got some pet hair, and even some human hair in here. We've got the torque drive cleaner head with the suction slider set in the middle. And let's see how the machine performs. It does a pretty good job. You will get a bit of stuff pulled behind this cleaner head as you pull back. Now you kind of have to come around and go over it, and that's in Eco mode, but overall, I'd say it does a pretty good job. Let's see how the Auto power mode performs on this. Wow, okay, well that did a nice job. Now we've got a real mess laid down here on our low pile carpet. We're going to run the V11 in Boost Power mode. Now Boost Power mode produces a lot of suction, 185 air watts of suction. By comparison, your V10 was 151 and the V8 was 115. So let's see how it performs on this. Okay, does a really good job. We find that Boost mode is pretty effective on a hard surface. Now we've got a clip of the V11 tackling a tough debris field in Boost mode on tile. Basic maintenance for the vacuum is fairly straightforward. We've got the filter here. If it's dirty and you need to clean it, you can just twist it off like this. This is rinsable in water. You can rinse it and typically wait something like 24 hours. When it's dry, you just simply turn it right back on. So pretty easy. Now, the cleaner head. You know, sometimes you've got hair or string, all sorts of things can get tangled up in there. Now, you've got pretty good access in here. You can probably get in there and pull away most things. But should you need to take that brush roll out, you can do it. You can see a slot here. Now, I've got a quarter. I can just turn that counterclockwise, and you'll see that that whole brush roll comes right out. So you got extreme access this way. Now, you don't want to rinse this one in water. It's very easy to put back in as well. You just have to kind of line this up. Sometimes I have to rotate it a few times. Make sure it's lined up properly. Then I can take my quarter, tighten it up, and they're back in business. Now, should you have the soft roller cleaner head? Now, sometimes these will get a bit grungy because this is making a lot of contact with the floor. It's got a little slot here. Now, again, a quarter, a nickel, something will help you. You just turn that counterclockwise, and the end here pulls up. That small brush roll comes out like this. You're going to pull that end piece off, and then the soft brush roll comes out. So both of these can be rinsed in water. And again, when they're perfectly dry, put back in the cleaner head. Now, let me try to do that here. Slot everything back together. Take this piece back in, push it down, and I'm going to turn that little slot clockwise again until it locks, and you're done. So, pretty easy basic maintenance with the V11. One other maintenance related thing, you may find yourself wanting to clean this dust canister. They can get kind of grubby. Well, they've made it fairly easy to do. You simply open it, and there's a red tab under here. Press that in. The whole thing just pops off quite easily. Now, Dyson recommend wiping this down with a damp cloth, and when it's completely dry, you simply put it back on the vacuum, like so. You hear it click, close it up, and you're done. So those are some of the things that we really like about the Dyson V11 cordless vacuum cleaner. Now, there are some things about this machine that we don't like, and you can see those in our video entitled What We Dislike About the Dyson V11. Thanks very much for watching.